What's up, everyone? Today we're going to make the definitive tier list for Helldivers 2 stratagems. As of right now, we're in March going into April for 2024. So future patches, this might change, but as it is right now, we are going to make the definitive tier list. And here's what makes my tier list different than other people's tier lists, okay? Too many people don't know how to rank things. It's the same thing with like video games. We're like, oh, this video game's a 10 out of 10. This video game's a 10 out of 10. This video game's 9 out of 10. No, everything can't be a 10 out of 10. Everything can't be S tier, A tier. In order to have the tiers actually matter, it truly needs to be the best of the best only belongs at the top. So that's how we're doing this. S tier. S tier means only things that are must take on every single mission. That means S tier can't have more than 4 things in it, because then you wouldn't be able to take it on every single mission, right? So S tier is going to be very sparse. I know it's going to upset some people. I'm not going to put their favorite things there. That's the thing, is that it's only limited to 3 or 4 things max in order to make the tier list matter. Everything else should be in like A or B tier, where it's like, yeah, it's pretty good, it's useful in most scenarios. That's what an A or B tier weapon is, or stratagem rather. So let's get started. Now, forgive me if I get a couple of these wrong. Some of these things, like these two, I mix up which one's which quite often. I believe how I want to start this. This should be the EAT. I believe this is the EAT. The EAT is absolute S tier. 2, 3, or even 4 of you should be running the EAT every dive. Doesn't matter what you're doing. The ability to call down 2 EATs every 1 minute. If you have 3 or 4 people, right, that's 8 EATs. They one-shot chargers, they 2-shot bile titans, they can one-shot Hulk bruisers, they take down absolute everything. You can spam it every minute, so when you're running across the map, there'll be an EAT waiting for you. There is no reason not to take EAT on every single mission and throw it down every minute wherever you are, because it will come in handy while you're running from bile titans or while you're running from objective to objective. There is no reason not to take it on every single mission. The EAT must be taken by at least 3 people every single mission, and that is why it is in the S tier, and in the S tier alone. That's right, that's why I just said people are going to be upset at this. The only S tier stratagem in the entire game right now is the EAT. It is a must take on every single mission. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about the shield backpack? You want it in S tier. I'm going to put the shield backpack in C tier. And no, again, you're going to get really upset at me for this. The shield backpack makes you a worse player. The devs have said it themselves. It is a crutch for bad players. I never use the shield thing. I regularly solo hell dives, as well as help other people out. If you need the shield backpack, you are using a crutch and you're crippling yourself. I do know there are some very niche uses when you're fighting bots, for example. Not getting one shot super important. That's why it's not in the D tier, but you need to stop relying on the shield backpack. All right, let's grab some other things. The turrets. All the turrets are also going to go into C tier. They have their uses occasionally, but for the most part, these turrets are all, maybe take them for like a defense mission. Again, maybe if you need a distraction. They're not great must pick on most missions, but for some missions they have a little bit of use, so we're going to put them at C tier. With the exception, D tier, Mortar. Mortar is awful. All it does is kill your team. It does nothing good for you. Never ever take the Mortar. On a side note, the EMS Mortar, that one is going to be an A tier. That is something you can take on most missions. There's a few where you might not take it. For example, Search and Blitz, where you're taking out like all the bug holes or the automaton factories, where you're just running, you're not fighting anything. Probably wouldn't take it there, but for most every other mission, you're going to want this thing and you're going to need it. So that's going there. Gas Strike, useless. It misses. Even if it hits, it does almost no damage. Useless. It's going in the garbage tier. Same with the napalm. I've seen the smallest bugs just walk through the fire. The fire damage does not do enough damage to justify its existence when there's so many better options. So don't ever take it. D tier, garbage. Same with the mines. I used to be a big believer in the mines. I love the mines. Aesthetically, they're cool. They just don't do enough damage to actually matter. They're a waste of a slot. Let's go next with the jump pack. I'm going to put it in B tier. Again, I think the jump pack's a little bit of a crutch. The mobility is great, but most people I see using the jump pack use it as a crutch, and when second it goes on cooldown, they're going to die regardless. If you need the crutch, you are hindering yourself as a good player. You need to remove the crutch and learn to play without it. So, situationally, a few missions it might be fun. Garbage. Laser cannon. The laser cannon is almost an S tier. With the buffs that came into it, it absolutely destroys all the bots. It can destroy chargers. It can destroy shrieker nests from far away. It is the ultimate utility. It has no ammo. It can sweep the chaff. It can take out large targets. It is darn near a must-take on every mission. It is an incredible tool. Please give the laser cannon another chance. I know a lot of you tried the laser cannon and it sucked at first, and so you never went back to it. Go back to it. You will find it is worth it. Laser cannon is great. We're going to put the... I'm going to get these mixed up. I believe this is the machine gun. The machine gun goes in the B tier, and the stalwart goes in the A tier. The ability to reload while running puts the stalwart above the machine gun. And a lot of people don't know this, but if you actually turn the RPM down on the stalwart, turn it down, you can shoot for 21 straight seconds without reloading, without interruption with the stalwart. That will take down any chaff, that will allow you to do any suppressing fire, and it will destroy most bug holes completely. It is great on most missions to have. The barrages are going to go in B tier. I love the barrages, but I really only use them on the seek and destroy missions, or occasionally missions where I just want to, the eggs destroy the hatcheries, for example. Other than that, they're not practical. They miss too much. They have long cooldowns. It's hit or miss. But if you're destroying nests specifically, like the egg hunt or blitz and destroy, they're great for that. So B tier, I feel, is fair for them. The 500 kg I'm also going to put in B tier, and I know that's going to super upset people. Here's the thing. It's finicky, I guess is the word. It misses. Sometimes you'll dead on hit like a Bile Titan and it'll do 0 damage. It won't clear away the chaff. Sometimes it doesn't one-shot chargers. It has 2 uses with full cooldowns, which is awesome, but it's not reliable. I wouldn't want a whole team bringing this. The airstrike is going to get the A for me. It does its job great. It closes holes. It destroys automaton factories. It can take out chargers. It destroys the chaff. It comes in fast. It has 3 uses and is much more reliable than 500 kg. Cluster bomb is going to go in the C tier. Yeah, it's great for clearing out chaff, but a stalwart does the same thing. Why would you want to waste one of your stratagems on the cluster bomb? Smoke bomb, we're going to put in D tier. It's worthless. It's useless. I've tried it. Tried to make it work. Worthless. Don't even bother. Strafing run, I want to put in useless, but I'm going to put it in situational. If you're low level and it's the only thing available to you, maybe. But it clears chaff and that's it. And there's so many better things for clearing chaff, like the laser cannon, or just stunning them in place, or using a stun grenade and running away. There's no reason to take it. And that's the same thing I'm going to do with the orbital Gatling strike, the orbital burst strike, orbital smoke strike. These there's no point in taking any of these. But they can be fun and situationally maybe, which is why they're not in the absolute garbage never touch tier. Speaking of garbage never touch tier, anti-material rifle, there's just no reason to take it. As of right now, I'm going to put the arc thrower in there specifically because we are doing this as of right now, which means there's a bug that causes both it and the Tesla to crash the game, which makes it worthless. When that's not in effect, if your whole team is on electric resistance or you have someone who knows what they're doing with it, it can be a great gun, but it's just outshined by everything else. So the fact that it's crashing the game, that kills your teammates, don't ever take it. Worthless tier. Get rid of it. Same with the spear. I love the spear. I think the spear is great. I think it's a ton of fun. The fact that you never know if it's actually going to lock on or not, it's long reload. There's no reason to take it over the EAT or the recoilless rifle, which we are going to finally place. Recoilless rifle, I'm going to stick as A. Everyone on your team, one person on your team should have one of these. The EAT outclasses in every way, but it's still worthwhile, especially if you have someone doing a team reload on it. Flamethrower is going to go in B tier. I love the flamethrower. I love that they changed it, buffed it. It can take out chargers. However, 99% of the time, because we're talking about fighting bugs, because most of the community likes fighting bugs, that means you're going to light the bugs on fire. The bugs are going to jump on you, light you on fire, kill you. If you know what you're doing, it's great. Most people don't know what they're doing. It makes it hard to recommend. All the backpacks, they're a waste. I'm just going to say it. The rover, the dog, it's a waste of a stratagem slot. You can clear chaff much better with something else. It kills your teammates. You die and you lose that either access to it forever. You run back trying to get it. You die again. It's worthless. It's a crutch. Don't bother. Don't touch them. The rail strike. This one's going to get people hot again. Rail strike can miss if you're on the edge of the map, because when you're on the edge of the map, it fires at an angle. It can hit features. It's got a long cooldown. It's a guaranteed kill. It's a get out of jail free card. So I'm going to put it as B. It is good for that, but I think it's a waste of a stratagem in most situations where if you're being situationally aware, you're playing with a better team and you know what you're doing, you can use something like the EMS Orbital Strike to slow them down, walk away, get your EAT, destroy it without needing to waste time on this. So, yeah. Let's put the laser beam. I think the laser beam is great. I think that most situations the laser beam is great. Clears chaff, takes out bile titans, can destroy entire automaton bases by itself. Laser beam from the sky is absolutely great. Grenade launcher. I'm actually going to put this one at B tier. I like it. I don't think it's useful on every mission, but it's a whole lot of fun and it's got a lot of versatility and a lot of uses. Bring it. Same thing with the auto cannon. It can take down shrieker nests, though it takes a lot. The full auto is fun, but I've never actually seen anyone help each other out like they're supposed to. So it's useful in certain situations, but you're not going to get those situations a whole lot. Backpack, D tier. Why? So the ammo is so plentiful on the map, and primaries are most of the time worthless. Why would you need an ammo backpack? The walker. Weirdly enough, the walker, sometimes the better part of the walker is the call down of it itself, because it can take out bile titans. The walker has some missions where it's super useful, like the TCS, super good on the TCS missions. The fact that it can arrive exploded, the fact that it can die in one hit, the fact that a dead bile titan can accidentally sweep it and it gets destroyed, it's just too finicky for me to justify actually bringing it with you. Maybe in future patches, I would like to bump this one up. I would like to see it be more useful, but as it is now, it's simply not useful enough to make it there. Railgun. Railgun's still fine after the nerfs. I know people are still salty about the nerfs, but there's really no reason to take the railgun when the EAT exists, when the stalwart exists. It's very specific for its very specific uses, but there's just no reason to take it when you can select all these better options that can do either other things better or more jack of all trades. I had to pause for a brief second so that I could look up what these last few ones are, because I totally forgot these symbols. Backpack, worthless. Ammo, worthless. Backpacks are crutches, don't take them. The shield has some very, 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 very niche uses, but I'm going to put it in worthless. There's just so many better things you can take. Walking barrage, like the other barrages, is really good in the very few missions where you need barrages, but for the most part, it's just too niche and outclassed by all these other things to bother taking. And the orbital strike is why would you? If you're going to need an orbital bombardment, you have these orbitals that are better. If you need a precision strike, you've got the actual precision strike. This simply doesn't need to exist. So, again, let me explain. S tier is must take on every mission. A and B are really good for most missions. D is absolutely worthless, never touch. And C is, this is occasionally a good pick for some certain missions or having fun. This is, to me, the definitive tier list. Everyone should be running an EAT. Everyone should be running these things here, depending on the mission type and the mission comp. These should rarely, if never, be seen. So, there you have it. I know I've upset some of you. If I have, comment down below where I'm wrong. Of course, I will tell you why you're wrong, but hey, let's have a civil discussion. Thank you if you've made it this far. Like, subscribe, all that. Have a blessed day.